Welcome after this short break. Hope you are doing great and you are ready for more insights into IT and telecom business. Skills. We need them. We want to master them. We have to develop them. But what skills are really needed for the future? Our next speaker will guide you through this topic. She gained her knowledge by working in various companies of different size and sector. She joined Nokia in 2014 to finally become the vice president and head of HR for Nokia Software. She is a devoted coach and a dedicated team builder with a passion for developing and empowering multicultural teams. Citizen of Italy, has resided in Sweden and in Finland, now living in Germany. Let's welcome Rosaria Bonifacio.
Hello, everybody, and nice to meet you, first of all. And I could not have a better introduction than the one that I had. So I need to keep up the expectation. What I will focus on today, I will focus on the evolution of the workforce for 2030. I will look at what is happening in Nokia and the skills that are required in Nokia, a little bit of the company. And then last but not least, how we onboard resources, because I think that that could be a topic that is of interest for you. So, as it has been said, I've been living in different nations in Europe, and now I am residing and sitting in Germany. I know Poland extremely well. I have worked with several colleagues from our Nokia offices. Therefore, it's a context that it's very well known to me and very close to my heart as well. What I would like to share with you, as I said before, is the evolution of the workforce. And to share the evolution of the workforce and the evolution of the job, I would like to share with you what is the evolution of the, let's say, the industrial revolution from where we have started and when we are today. You might think that I am starting from far away, but I think it's necessary if we look at what is the evolution of technology during those years. In fact, we can start with and what has brought us here. We can start with 1784, where at that time we had the start of the mechanization. As well, the revolution was based on water power and, was still in a pre-genetic phase. And we had different kinds of competencies and different kinds even of employee relation and condition. Then in 1870, we started with the mass production and with the assembly lines. And this has then created, let's say, the industry that at least I think your grandparents were used to. At least this has been setting the foundation of our industry. And then we start into 1969. In 1969, we have the first big computer that is not the computer that we know today. It's something completely different. And already then, the skills that we needed were different from the skills that were needed at least several decades ago. But it's then into in 2000, 2004, 2003, that we are starting to see the evolution of the industry with the different Facebook, with Google, with Apple. And it's really in these centuries that we are seeing the evolution of the cyber systems and as well of the networks and requiring completely different kinds of skill. I am reflecting on those different era because if we think of those different era, the jobs were completely the skills that were required were different from today. Let's then look at as well how our impact and our context has been impacted lately by the COVID situation, because not only we have the industrial revolution that we have today, but as well there is a new system, a new healthcare situation that is even impacting the competencies and how we need to cope with it and the way we need to work. So what are the findings? And I have studied those findings through several research that is available even on internet. And I'm focusing on what will be available on 2025. So the time spent by human and machine at work will be in 2025 almost the same. Before it was, of course, different. I mean, we had the 70-30 kind of balance. 85 million jobs by 2025 are going to be displaced by this shift of this new technology. And new jobs, like 97 million new roles, are going to be created due to this shift. Let's say that the split between human, as I said before, and machine is going now to be the same. On average, companies estimate that 40% of the workers are going to need new reskilling. And therefore companies will need to adapt themselves with the new learning capabilities. Therefore, learning and acquiring new skills is one of the most important activities, so to say, that in a company should happen. Because, we need absolutely to sharpen up and refocus the skills that we have today. Not to say as well that this has an impact as well on the location where those competencies can be identified. I have reflected then, and I have done some research on what are the top 10 skills that will be needed in 2025. The top 10 skills in 2025, and I will go later on even in what are the jobs that are, let's say, decreasing their interest more and more. If we look at the 10 skills that are required for the future, we can think about innovation skills, analytical skills, and here I'm putting on purpose active learning and learning strategy. More and more, we need to be able to learn new skills and know the technology in order to learn those new skills. Another competencies that is another skills is problem solving, the capability and the adaptability of the individuals to problem solving, to solve issues. Creativity, and at the same time, I'm just referring on some, how to use technology. Being able to move between different technologies, between different systems, being able to design and program new technologies. Instead of the human side, I think that we have an important capability, and this is even more true during the COVID, that is stress tolerance. Stress tolerance is important, and is more and more important because more and more people are working from home in a complex situation. We cannot use the workplace as before. Therefore, the stress tolerance and the resilience, it's one of the winning factor for the skills of the future. So this is just to give you a view what are the 10 skills for 2025, and as well what are the skills the company are looking after and the company would like to recruit. If we then go into the top 2020 job roles increasing and decreasing in demand, I have elaborated a little bit of an analysis of, again, doing some research and some studies on what are the jobs that are going to, that are redundant the most, looking at, our recruitment companies and doing some search with other industries. And what are the companies that we need less? If we look at the companies that are most needed today, and let's say that we should study and the university should get equipped and are equipped in order to make sure that we can deliver those competencies, individuals with those competencies. We have data analysts and scientists, we have big data specialists, we have digital marketing and strategy specialists, we have business development professional, information security specialists, robotic engineers, organizational development specialists, and risk management specialists. Let me say that if I would have to say to somebody that is at university or needs to decide what to choose at university, for sure I would direct that person to find a faculty or to find a university that can provide those kind of programs and those kinds of, trainings, because this is really where the future is going, not only in 2025, but even today. But let's look a little bit more carefully at what are the jobs that I'm not saying we don't need, but we need less. Data entry people, accounting, auditors, accounting auditors, business service and administration managers, less and less administration managers, relationship managers, door-to-door sales, human resources specialists. I am in human resources, so training and developing specialist, administrative and executive assistant. Why is that? And think with me of why is that? Because the machine can do all this work. Or that is a very important jobs, but the machine can be a very solid substitute to this work. I have thought that you might find interesting to enter a little bit more in what are the emerging jobs, looking at some of the key jobs that maybe we might find extremely interesting. If we look at marketing, if we look at cloud computing, if we look at HR, and if we look at content production, I have identified here some of the jobs that are very much required by the industries and by the markets. Growth manager, for example, in marketing, digital marketing specialist, head of digital, chief marketing officer, and if we go into cloud computing, site reliability engineer, cloud engineer, DevOps manager, those are the jobs that are very much needed today. And let's focus even on human resources, because even the human resources function that is now more called people and culture, it's having an evolution. And in people and culture, we find as well the evolution of the jobs with no information technology, being not a human resources specialist, but a human resources partner, a talent acquisition specialist, because now recruitment and being able to recruit the right people, it's more important than ever, as well as the role of the human resources business HR, somebody that is able to couple the business and human resources. So you find less the word human resources and more the word people and more the word business partner. Let's focus even on the content production. And if we look at people that is working on content, we have the social media assistant, the content producers, a creative copywriter. The reason why I wanted to share with you this overview that is just for certain jobs is because to give you an idea of all those professions that today are into the market and that are existing, and let's say that companies are looking for, so that to provide, let's say, an orientation as well on how the jobs are changing. So let's look at where is Nokia now and the fourth industrial revolution, because as said before, it's since 2000 and the beginning of the end of the 19th centuries that we are really having new companies that are into the market, and the same Nokia that is always very much, let's say, innovative and reskilling our workforce. First of all, let's talk of where we stand today and what is the technology that we have today. The technology that we have today, I mean, we are talking about 5G. We are talking about the capability really of connecting in 200 milliseconds, a lot of much more faster. We are talking a 100% coverage, and we are talking into a 90% reduction in network energy use. That usage, that is the context where we are living today, and that is where we are putting all our resources and our effort. So what else, and what is something that Nokia wants to do, is working at? We are looking at making sure that we can help us to live healthier. We want to work on big data, intelligent space and smart places, on blockchain as well, on cloud and edge computing, in having, a more digital experience from that we have today. Natural language and being able as well to understand the system and understand the human language, computer that vision and facial recognition, and as well cybersecurity. That is one of, and security, that is one of the technologies that we are developing more and more. So those are the areas where Nokia is focusing today. And I think that you have heard that even from my other colleagues that have been talking about the jobs that we are, looking for today. Let's look as well at our values, because I think it's important even to understand the perspective of our company and what people can find in our company. We have identified respect, achievement, challenge, and renewal. Respect, it's fundamental that whatever we do it respecting the human beings, reskilling, but we need to respect the present company and looking for future skills where we need to invest. Achievement and challenges. With the present market situation, of course, we need to be able to face challenges and complexity, but the most important value that I think is today is the renewal, because you are understanding that I started with the first industrial revolution. I went to the second industrial revolution, and you have seen how quick that is. Of course, nowadays it is even quicker. Therefore, the renewal of the skills and the renewal of the technology, it's going much faster than what was today. In few years, it has happened much more than was happening with our grandfathers, our grandmothers, and therefore you can understand that one of the characteristics that we need to have and the skills that we need to have is, and therefore I used before, is the capabilities of learning and using different systems in order to reskill ourselves. Drive, dare, and care. This is some of the behaviors that we would like to see in our population. You see rather often that people in our company refers to drive, dare, and care, because bottom line, we want to drive, we want to dare new things, and we care for the people. Where are we? And this is important at least to give you a geographical perspective on where we are today. We are in Europe, very much spread within Europe. We are in India. We are very strong in India, Asia Pac and Japan, Middle East and Africa, Latin America, North America. And we are in 120 countries. So here you see the different geographies, but we are spread across the globe. So what's happening now, and what are our challenges? Our challenges today, and what the customer are asking us, is will we have enough capacity during these COVID times in order to support the global networks? Are our networks safe? Because at the same time, we need capacity, but the network needs to be as well safe. And are we going to offer services with people that is at home while we, at the same time, we need to run a business. So those are the questions that our customers are asking us, the operators today. And those are the questions that on which we are working to make sure that our employees can continue to work and deliver services. And at the same time, we have enough capacity to make sure that people can work from home or can work in these different times. So what do we need? What do we need? We need people like you, people that are doers, are disruptors, that are able to bring new things, new ideas, that challenge the status quo, and they never lose the perspective, and they never give up dreaming. Because really, the most important things from people that is working is really to do the jobs that they really like to do. So never give up your dreams. I wanted to spend a few minutes before I leave in order to tell you that we have a program that is called Built Up, especially in the software business that I'm representing today. And we have creating a program to attract and retain the high-performing talent that is engaging with people into the university and people in the market before entering into the company. We are engaging even graduates people with short-term assignment in order to, start in order to onboard them, and creating a mechanism of relationship so that we can create relationship with people before they enter into the company in order to engage them better. This is one of the example of the skills that we are looking for and the way that we position ourselves on the market. And you can see here there is code that works and code that inspires. We want people that is really inspired by coding, and those are positioned for the Internet of Things. And really, we are redesigning our LinkedIn campaign in order to make sure that we can attract more and more people like yourself. If we look then at the strategic approach, we have been focusing on the recruitment process and mainly on the way we onboard these people, creating a special and focused plan where we can invest on their skills, and we can as well offer them interesting projects that have a high level of visibility into the company, and where at the end, the bottom line, we want an engagement with the people, that we want that this engagement then continues even when they are into the company, and we can keep them. So for 2020, we have been planning for all sorts of activities on how to keep this relationship going with the new hires, with monthly letter or special research and tracking with people on how is it going, how they feel in staying in our companies. And so far, for example, with the graduate program, we are able to transform and retain 35% of this population that is with us, that is hired by us in those programs. So, those are just some of the experiences. And talking about skills, we have created a boot camp in the virtual boot camp where people can learn the different technologies that I mentioned before in my previous presentation. So those are some of the activities, because I thought that maybe it was interesting for you as well to understand what we do in order to engage and to hire people from outside. And with that, I think that for sure, one thing that and one message that I would like to give you is I'm closing here, enabling the human possibility of technology. This is our mission. But what I think is the most important thing as HR, that you do the job that of your dreams, and at the same time that you never stop learning and renovating their own skills is the foundation of the world today. And that is where myself as HR think that this is the main purpose of my job. Thank you very much.
Rosaria, thank you for this great speech. You have inspired us not to be afraid of new challenges and developing our skills. Let's move now to the next speaker.